What's up, vlog? Today is March 26, 2026. And yeah, this is going to be a recap from my last vendoring event, which was Bukas Society on the 21st. And it was interesting. Yeah, I think there's a first for everything, and this is the first time that I've ever been to an event that got shut down by the city. So that was interesting. Yeah, this one it was called Beyond the Pearl event hosted by Buka Society. They are a new like open multicultural like social group and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, so for this one, the way that it was structured is that it was kind of like a two-parter where the first 12 to 1 was a ticketed panel for their inner circle. And then by 1:30, that's actually when the community slash AIPI market opens up for everybody to join and it's not ticketed. So that was actually supposed to run towards like 8 p.m. So cleanup was like 8 to 9 p.m. ish. And because there was the panel happening, setup for all vendors slash call time was like 10:30 a.m. So that they could finish setting up by 12 because you're not allowed to be doing anything inside while the panel is happening. So we got there and everything, and we're setting up, and then we had to stop for the panel, obviously. And then afterwards, we were able to do some like finishing touches for finishing up, like your setup and everything. So at 1:30, that's when the market technically officially opened and stuff like that. And then an hour into it, actually, we got an announcement. I think I have my reaction to it because I was literally just in shock. I was like, my mouth was like, just like open because I've never been to an event where it got shut, like the city shut it down because there wasn't like the permits and stuff. It hasn't happened before, so that's why I was like we just leave then? Like what? But yeah, so an hour in, they were like, we actually have to shut it down. The city is going to come back if they're not, or sorry, and if we're not cleaned up by like 4 p.m. because this happened at like 2:30 was the announcement. If we're not back by 4 p.m. If we're not out by 4 p.m., they're gonna call the cops on us or whatever. But anyways, so that happened, and I was like, oh my god. After that like announcement, I feel like it was pure chaos where everybody was either trying to shop before vendors packed up, and even like other vendors were like shopping around to other vendors, and at the same time it's like vendors are also trying to pack up. So it was like, honestly, I feel like it was just like pure chaos 2:30 onwards, because I was like, so many feelings that I don't know how to feel. And I was like, I wasn't expected to be leaving till like 8 9 into the night, and obviously I was there setting up like what in the morning, like 11 whatever. And so my boyfriend who dropped me off, he had to go back, and it takes an hour to get home because of like traffic and everything. Right when he got home, was about to eat his food, he got the call from me, and he was like, I was like, you have to come, because he had the truck. I was like, you have to pick me up because I'm gonna be stranded here. But yeah, so I literally had all my stuff just outside on the street because I didn't have a car to pack it into. So I was like one of the last ones there. So I was like, what an interesting day. I don't know. I just didn't expect that. And also the heat didn't help either. So it was like you have just so much chaotic energy, and also the heat also adding on to that, And yeah, there was just honestly so much going on. But I was able to see a lot of familiar faces and meet new people, so that's always the good thing. But yeah, it was a short-lived event, but totally fine. I still enjoyed meeting a lot of people at this event. This is the first day I actually launched my my workers tee. Actually, I can quickly flash them. I'm probably gonna do another video specifically on it. But for example, I did some of these designs. So for example, it says Los Angeles, and then it has the half like Filipino sun, but then it's like, because it was inspired by being Filipino American, so obviously I put the city because that's the American side of me, but then Filipino is like the other side of the sun. So that's kind of where this design is inspired from. And where the Workers' Tees actually launched was this event. So I have it in green. I also have it in red over here. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me because of my mic. But I also have it in red. I first brought it to Oxnard. Sorry, I'm gonna let this hang. I first brought it to Oxnard for the Seafood City event. So I was like, let me do it for LA, and maybe in the future I will be doing it per city and stuff like that. But yeah, so I was like, okay, it's the first time launching it here, and I'm like, okay, now I'll officially launch it online because again, the market was really only open for an hour. So I tried to do the best we could in the little time that we had, but that is a-okay. What else? Other than that, I got some chicken on the way home because I was obviously home a lot earlier than expected, but yeah, most of the day was just driving, so that was that. What else? But yeah, I guess some context. Apparently the venue owner, I think it's called Collective X Studios, somewhere in Signal Hills. Yeah, apparently this is the second or third time that this has happened to them before. That's actually what the city official said, that, they've been, like, it just happened, like, last week, so before that week, it happened the previous week, and they've been trying to get the owners out of there. I'm not sure. This is all alleged because obviously I heard it from somebody else. Yeah, so apparently 3 times it's been a thing, and this could have been avoided had he just had his business insurance or the correct permits for everything. So that just sucked. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I was just like, damn, that's difficult. Just felt really bad for all the vendors. Obviously, like, the time being spent to put everything together and prepping. Like, even for me, I was like, every single day of the past couple days, I was just like up embroidering because I really haven't had this like week to prep. I was just busy with other stuff, and from Seafood City, I was basically sold out of everything, so I was just doing everything new. But yeah, so for this one, what a doozy. And especially for the food vendors, I think that's just really difficult because you can prep so much, but unless you have another event, then it's like, where is this influx of food going, especially for the people who are just popping up to pop up. So then it's more of a loss on their end versus, like, if you're retail goods, etc., you can use them and sell them at the next event type of thing. But yeah, so that was just like one of the things that saddened me. I tried to go around to meet as much people as I could before I had to leave, so it was just like panic going around and like quickly meeting people because I was like, I swear I had more time. But yeah, so interesting bonding experience. First time for a lot of people that I actually asked to, because in the past I know that things can get shut down because of like weather, and so far the vendors that I talked to was like, okay, yeah, like it's been shut down or whatever because like it's pouring rain, like you can't really do anything for that. But this one, it's like something that could be avoided too. So that was just the only thing. It is what it is. You can't go back in time, but yeah, I just feel bad for all those vendors and stuff. But yeah, so I think that's the kind of life update from the last event. My next event that I'm for sure going to is going to be Long Beach Filipino Festival, that I believe is in May, actually, so in about like a little bit over a month. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's just like trauma or whatever, but I'm like, not that I'm weary about other events, but I'm kind of scared because, these are just my feelings and opinions, but yeah, it's just like a lot to have to prepare everything, and for my family to come out and everything. I think additionally from like my business obviously taking a hit, I think it's I don't know if it's like a moral responsibility, but I guess like my moral obligation slash like I feel bad for the people who were going to come out and see me. My sister had posted and people were like, "Oh, we're here, like where's the event?" and stuff like that. So it makes me sad to know that like, people came out of their way for that, and I really just hate letting people down. So I'm like, I don't know how to and what I would even do to kind of help the situation in that part other than like, it's you can't do anything. But yeah, even for my family, they came farther, so it took them like 2 hours to get there, and then they were probably only there for well, actually, from when it was live, I'm not sure how long they were even there for. Probably like the drive took longer than how much they were actually there. Then the rest was just like packing up. So yeah, and especially with gas prices in this climate, yeah. So I mean, I'm still glad that I was able to see the people who were able to come before, but I know some people were also like on the way before. Sorry, I have to sneeze. But yeah, so that's just a thing. I'm wondering, I mean, this is me just talking again. Yeah, sometimes I am shy to invite people personally to my events because I'm scared that what if it's not fun, the whole experience or whatever. Because I'm very, I don't know, like, this is me just like talking. I'm scared that it's like not boring for them, but I'm scared that maybe like the heat's too hot and there's that I'm not worth seeing or whatever. But yeah, so I think those are just like some of my fears that I kind of have to get over. But yeah, and I don't want to end this video on a bad note because that's life. Like life is going to be a constant up and down of assorted stuff. Especially when running a business too. So I think part of this was even a reality check for me in terms of like, okay, I only had one event for this month, and also like not that these are like the dead months, but it's like obviously like May is more poppin' because of like APAM, etc. October with like FAM and stuff. But I knew that it was like one of the slower events, but part of me just had a reality check to kind of evaluate my business and what I'm doing and everything that I'm running. I think I have been so quick to say yes to everything and always wanting to like explore new things, whatever. But I think, this is just one of those moments where, okay, I have to really look at how can I not recoup the cost, because obviously I can still sell, but it's like, okay, what are other like avenues to be able to like build my business and like revenue, etc. But yeah, so I will be posting these online, and I'm going to be doing an evaluation on myself and how I'm running everything to be more efficient. I think, I'm going into 2 years of vendoring in May, actually, because Long Beach Filipino Festival is actually my first event that I ever did. But yeah, so I'm excited for all of that. And yeah, on a good note, there's always going to be more events that I can look forward to. And I think I shouldn't be scared to invite people because at the end of the day, it's an experience. There's a first for everything. But yeah, so if you're watching this far, thank you. But yeah, life happens. Things can be avoided. Some things can't. But take it as you wish because, that saying, it's not a bad life. It's just maybe a bad day. And there's always going to be an upside somewhere. So I'm going to choose to look at the bigger picture out of all of this because there is more to life and there's more to enjoy. So thank you for being here. Bye, guys.